Holy crap, I have Moon access, Asteroids access, Mars access, and Warzone access. Hello and welcome back to Minetest. I almost said StarMade because I am working on a spaceship in a voxel game, but obviously that would be incorrect. Is F3? No, F3 is the wrong button. F5 gives me my info at the top left that I'm used to. I just tried to point to it with the mouse. Obviously that didn't work. Here's a battery that's at near full charge and has a little bit of extra capacity because it has batteries in the battery. And my inventory is full of junk right now. I am not sure why, actually. This is my work-in-progress spaceship. You might notice it looks a lot more cubular and smaller and completely different than the last time I was working on it. And that's because that design had fundamental flaws in it that made it very difficult to work with. This design is based on, well, this is a flying nuclear core. Specifically Core Alpha, because it's the first core I made. This time, first of all, the switching station isn't the part that is moved to make the reactor turn off and on. I'll show that in a minute. This is part of that system right here, this battery and this light, and you can hear a piston going and this light turning off at the same moment. There's also another sign up there, but we'll get to that in a moment. Basically, the concept of this particular vehicle is it's a flying nuclear core, complete with warning lights and power access on all three sides. I meant to show that side last. We have the beacon up top like previously. We have door access on 3 of 4 sides. We can't have it on the 4th side because there's not enough room. I mean, technically I could put a door right here, but I like having everything centralized. This right here is a piping thing set up so that this quarry, which you can see is temporarily set right here and is actually running on a pit down there, will actually be placed here. And you can see there is a bit of cabling here set up and the piping goes around the side here, but I'm not finished building that yet. And that's where we come into this in-progress interior. But the main thing I want to show off right away is this system right here that automatically engages and disengages the reactor. And hopefully if I come over here at the right period of time, you can see there's a sticky piston here, a bit of cabling, and that is where we both have access to the core, and hey, and there you go, it's triggering right now. And so you can see we have it connected right now. It's on 4% usage, and the batteries are filling up, and now as soon as they top off, well, they don't quite top off, but they get near the top level, this goes back. And the way that works is based on this right here. This is a node detector that is looking for a Technic HV Battery Box 8, which is this right here. When it's near full capacity and it shows the graphic of full capacity, that's number 8. Then there's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way to 0 if I remember correctly. This is a NOT gate. And by the way, if you find yourself needing to move things into position, there's an item called a screwdriver, which allows you to rotate things when you create it. It's very simple to create one. I don't have one on me, which I thought I did, and that's how you get the node detector facing down. If you were able to see the bottom of this, you would see a little red light right now, or actually you would see a green light because it's at a full enough capacity, and then it turns red when it goes off. It also outputs a mesocon signal, which is similar to redstone in Minecraft. Has very different rules though, and so the NOT gate inverts this to tell this piston whether or not to go down and connect with the main core. And so this is the entire system. It's all set up, it's all done. Technically it only needs this battery, it doesn't need this battery, but this battery, this position happens to be a good position to put a battery because otherwise there would be nothing there at all. And this actually needs to be walled off because I'm done with it, but I hadn't done that until now because I wanted to get, just show off that design real quick. And now that I'm done showing it off, I will finish that section once I manage to get out of the ship, that is. I will finish off that section of walling as it is no longer necessary to keep it open. I mean, it wasn't necessary now, but I wanted to show off my design. Obviously, that is an important factor in making these things. Why would we make them if not to show them off a little bit? This is temporary, this top part. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Those open gaps over there are going to be more of these decorative thruster things. We can see reactor switch and core access. We have a little access ladder. This switch, I'll wait for oh, it's off right now. So, and there you can see the piston is extended. So if you want to force enable the reactor even when the batteries are full, you can with this lever. And then for core access, you come down here. I'd recommend not accessing it while this is not activated, because it'll hit you although I'm not sure what that will do, if anything. So I'm going to stand here and see what happens when the battery gets low enough to force this thing down into my head. It may or may not kill me or hurt me. And just so we're ready, I'm going to eat a little bit of food. This right here, this cable is temporarily going down to where the quarry is located right now. In the future, that cable will still go down. It's just that cable will be going down to the very bottom and connecting to the quarry over in that corner. So this entire right side of the ship is basically finished at this point because I've managed to stack the power control systems and reactor access all in this one vertical plane. And like I said, I'm just waiting for this to go down. Should go down very soon. Once we drop below 1,000 or 980 something kilo energy units. Oh, there we go. And it turns out it functions just fine and doesn't hurt me, so that's good. And of course, this is how we can access the reactor core. It's the exact same spot as... Oh dear. Oh. It picked me up with it when it went up. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess that's the same mechanism that made the rope work? I don't know. On my previous video, I found out that a rope box, when you're descending the rope, if the rope is moving, you will move with the rope, which is interesting to say the least. This piece here, this black cushion, might be changed, might be removed. We can't place anything in this block because that's where the piston needs to be able to extend. But see how this one is an angled piece so that you have a compartment here, or at least the facsimile of one, rather than it being completely an open plan. Obviously, I was having fly mode on because I have a beacon on the top, but normally you would be able to access this without the fly mode. In some cases, the fly mode is easier. In other cases, it's not. And I really like this ladder. Yeah, just a random thought. I like this ladder. And, oh yes, so the key to this spaceship is a jump drive, which is now placed in here and has to be manually accessed. You might notice that the jump drive is actually inside the core. Because I found out you can access the reactor by hand quite easily with the same port that you can shove a power connection to, I decided that I could put the jump drive in the core. Now, I initially tried to put it all the way into where the water access is, and that caused the thing to immediately start melting down. Fortunately, I was able to fix that before it melted down, but the end result is that the jump drive core needs to be offset by 1 block, which means the minimum size for it to jump the reactor is radius 5, which coincidentally is also the default setting for a jump drive, and means that this entire ship is the outer bounds of said drive. I have an armor stand right here with a spacesuit on it. I don't know if I'll keep that there permanently or not, but it seemed like a good idea at the moment. And of course we have the door access down here, and we have, as before, we have a chest with the rope box and some exterior tools for heading out. This time you would place the rope box here instead of down there. I mean, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, but this felt more appropriate to me. And yeah, there you go. You might notice there's no air pumps on here at all. This is intended to function without air pumps, so you either need a suit or need a good connection, or, you know, being in a good spot that has atmosphere. The idea is that it should retain its atmosphere once it's finished being built, because there will be nothing that leaks. The closest thing to a leak is this system right here with the power cable and this. Actually, technically, that reminds me, I don't know if these power cables, these plate power cables that I have connected here on the outsides, I don't know if those leak. They might leak, in which case this isn't airtight. But the point is that it's not intended to be airtight or not. It's just whichever one it happens to be. You might have also noticed the point of interest block, which I was actually initially staring at for a moment there, right here. And yeah, I decided I'll name my ships with TAN to mark them, and I'm using the transgender icon because there was previously an icon that was a nuclear reactor or radiation or whatever, or at least I thought there was, but when I went to try to find it, it's apparently gone now, which I don't understand how that happened. This random ladder here and this box is just because I might continue building up here, and I just realized, just updates, XP limits were changed. Nice. Also recording a video. That person, Huhelia, I'm not sure how you're supposed to say that. Huhila? They actually helped me with designing my automatic system for my reactor core. I believe they told me about the idea of using a node sensor to detect when a battery box is at different levels. And it's working great because I can have my reactor just automatically cycling as needed. I don't remember what the exact absorption, the exact charge and discharge rate of the batteries is. And so this may run into an issue with the batteries, what's the word I'm looking for? With the batteries not charging or discharging fast enough, because the reactor, when it is enabled, is outputting a lot of power. So like right now, we have a demand of 10 kEU for the one quarry that is running. And give it a minute, well, once the battery decreases, you can now see that we have a supply of 100 kEU for the moment that it activates again. And I'm guessing that's topping off the batteries very quickly, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It would really be a shame if it's not topping them off. This is the beginning of an automated grinding and smelting system, or at least partially automated. I don't know if it will continue to be built or if it will be functional. Right now, one difficulty in continuing to build it is that it is... Oh, I leveled up my multi-tool. It is down here below the reactor. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'm also not quite certain where this pipe will end, because I just brought it to the edge of the reactor because at the very least it had to go that far, but I'm probably actually going to need to bring it further simply to maintain access to the floors like I have right now. I have one floor up here, and a middle one, and a bottom one, and the bottom one absolutely has to be maintained as an access way because it's how you get to the door, but the middle one doesn't necessarily have to exist. I might remove it. I'm not certain yet. There also has to be a sorting system to go to these. Yeah, there's complexity. Definitely complexity. And I'm guessing that I will put a storage system under the reactor like I had before. Unfortunately, I don't have a video of the old storage system since I've done all this work off camera. But yeah, that's kind of just where I'm at right now, and I've been AFKing a lot, letting this system run because I want to mine resources. Let's see, that's my decorative stuff mostly, and a little bit of storage stuff, and then here is a lot of tools and miscellaneous things, and I don't actually have a secondary storage for the stuff in my inventory right now. I think I was about to, and I just hadn't yet. I'll put it up here for now, and this will just be all the mined materials except for the stuff that I'm refining here on the ship, because I do have the reactor, or I do have the power set up to connect to this grinder and furnace here, so I am grinding and smelting ores. So you can see I've collected some more silver, some more iron, and some more copper. Everything else is not currently going anywhere in particular, but that's fine by me. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in space. This time for real, although I'm in the atmosphere right now.